After having animated a dot and a line in 10 hours each, it's time for a 2D shape. And you might say every animation I make is 2D, but is different. So I'm gonna animate a square in 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, and then 10 hours. Well, let's get right into it. I was trying to make a square. So for 10 seconds, I'm gonna drop a big rectangle, well, a square. It's gonna drop in and do a bit of a squash. I don't know if I can make it very good in 10 seconds, but I'm gonna try. And my time starts now. Okay, we'll do a big stretch on the way down. And then it's gonna squash on this frame. Very much so, then kind of spring back up. I went over time a little bit there, but that's okay. Let's have a gander at this. Oh, that was quite good actually. Not really a square to be seen, but I'm not gonna be drawing perfect squares. This one's just a bit broken up. Then we have some stretch or smears. Yeah, I mean, I guess I like the jiggle at the end. Well, let's do a minute. Alright, so what I'm gonna do this time is have a square start on the left of the screen and just kind of slide across to the right. Do some kind of trailing, you know, secondary follow through. Try and make it look natural and smooth. And my 1 minute starts now. Okay, try and draw a perfect square. That's good enough. Have it move just a little bit. Start to accelerate. So on this frame, the tip is dragging behind. It's gonna squash and be really zoom in at this point. Actually, the tip needs to drag more. Okay, this is gonna be very ugly, but hopefully the motion looks good. Tip should be like really behind. Basically in place, but the top is gonna wobble. It's gonna be like leaning forward at this point. Now it's gonna settle into place. So I just draw a square on this frame. 4 seconds left. Perfect. Yep. Let me just hold on the last frame a bit, and let's give it a watch. Decent. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. It's just that the the specific shaping is not very good. Yeah, it could be cleaner and smoother, but nothing to scoff at for a minute. So let's try 10 minutes. For this one, I'm gonna have it kind of do both of the last two, where it drops in first, then slides across the screen. And I'm gonna make it blue because why not? All right, 10 minutes starting now. All right, I'll have it, actually have a blank frame at first, and then it can slowly, well, rapidly drop in. Should turn onion skin on, really speeding up on this frame. Maybe I should do something like some of this. It's nothing against adding speed lines. I don't know how I should do the squash exactly. All right, do some of this as well. So it's gonna kind of bounce back up. I don't think I'm keeping the volume or the area, it's a 2D shape, very consistent, but I think it'll look all right. Just have it idle there for a bit. Kind of do some boil frames. Actually, I'll have it slide back a bit before going forwards. So we can do like a big lean like this. Gonna throw forward. I think this might look really strange, I might have to adjust it. It's like really moving fast, then really slowing down. So you don't want to hit this wall. So kind of just trying to do a slightly smoother version of that wobble from last time. Actually, let's copy the square from the earlier frame and see if it's even the same size remotely. It really seems like it's not. Yeah, that's the difference. That's fine, let's just go with it. So now I think we can have it do a little jump. So stretch up a little bit, squash down a little bit, kind of really in a deep squat. Maybe hold there for a couple frames and then leap into the air. Maybe I should do a flip. How do I make a square to a flip? Yeah, it should be pretty easy. Really, this is like, I'm animating a piece of paper. I'm not testing any of this, but it's gonna be a surprise when I watch the animation. Okay, so it's landing, classic squash. Also, this thing is just getting bigger and bigger. Like, okay, I still got a few minutes left. I'm gonna repeat these frames for a bit. What if I try to make it do a spin in 3D space? This is supposed to be the 2D version, but I use 3D even in the dot and line, so I guess the world is 3D, but the object is 2D. My camera did just die. Oh well. I'm gonna have it jump into a spin. So it's gonna just kind of get really skinny because it's spinning. I don't know if this is gonna look like a spin at all. It lands back on the ground, bounces back into place. Oh, I should really make it loop. I am addicted to loops. So I guess, let's get the start. It's gonna be way smaller. Oh right, it starts off screen. Okay, I'll have it disappear somehow. Let's make it topple over and kind of just walk off screen, you know? 20 seconds, that's fine. This ending might look really bad. It's kind of not a square as well. It's probably fine. I got 3 seconds left. I guess I'll just call it there. Wow. All right, let's see what we've produced. It's kind of neat. Oh wait, I love the spin actually. It does loop, of course. Yeah, that kind of just turned out better than I thought it would. The motion's a bit smoother than I thought. I quite like that flip, honestly. Well, well, well. Time to animate a square in 1 hour. Let's get the ball rolling, or the square squashing, with another drop in. I went pretty extreme with the stretch this time and drew a nicer shape for the squash. There's a bit more to the speed lines, and I'm having it bounce up after landing. Now to have it idle in place, I trace the square a few times and loop those frames. Then I'll have it topple over with a big lean back in anticipation and wobbly landing. Next is a normal jump. I tried to get some very satisfying shapes and easing. I'm also doing a flip again, but this time you'll see cleaner lines, better timing, and more intentional frames. Time for another spin, again with more care put into it. Now we're going into a big squat to jump and bound off the side of the screen. I want to make it loop around to the other side like Pac-Man. Then it does a jump forward without rotating and rebalances. The final big move here and most interesting part is where it leaps into the air and flies around like some paper in the wind. To bring it home, I landed the square and dissolved it away. So it is similar to the 10-minute one in that it's just a square jumping and rolling around, but it just hits better. I'm happy with it. The stretch at the start is definitely too skinny and small, like it should have been wider or longer, but very hard to notice in motion. I like the swirling animation. Still not a lot going on overall, but that's about to change. My idea for the 10-hour animation was a room, or series of rooms, the square is trying to escape from. It's like the movie Cube, but that's for another day. We're dealing with squares here. So he tries to jump up, but can't get the height and bounces off. Also, I know there's some purity lost on the concept by including an environment, but it's much more interesting this way, and I'm only going to use rectangular shapes. I had the square roll back and get a good leap in for enough momentum to reach the top. Now this roll animation is where most of the travelling is going to come from. In room 2, I added a green square, creating a similar idle loop. Blue drops down, and when the camera reveals green, they both jump and flip around in a friendly, excited acknowledgement. They need to work together to move forward, so green offers to give blue a boost. There's a run-up, and blue bounces off of green's head. Up top we discover some boxes which can be pushed off to help green. To animate the boxes sliding and falling, I used 3 nested symbols with tweens. A bit technical, but essentially I animated the rotation inside the horizontal movement, inside the vertical movement, eyeballing the speed. With the 2 boxes there, it's just enough to get green to the top with some gymnastics. They roll along to the next area and come across the slant. I did say I would only use rectangles, and I think that's still true here because it's just rotated. Anyway, it presents some danger as there's a hole at the bottom. But blue goes ahead and parkours down, with green following behind. This is where they meet red and do the classic greeting. I had to bring back the spin. But a challenge lies ahead with a gap too big to clear and a pole too thin in the middle. There are some conveniently placed squares above it. So blue hops on red, giving enough of a boost to get green all the way up. Green can now jump across and down on these rectangles, which aren't entirely stable. So a big push and they come down like dominoes, leaving a bridge for the others to cross. Blue springs across and red will follow soon after. I started constructing the ending, knowing I wanted them all to reach the outside through the ceiling somehow. There's a big gap, and I decided to use an elevator that requires a button. Blue and green agree to launch red at the same time, hopefully providing enough force. So they squat down, and when red jumps on top, they push up, sending red into the stratosphere, landing perfectly next to the button. So the button is pushed, setting the elevator in motion. Now, what you're about to see is me running out of time, then continuing. It's more like a 10-hour, 20-minute challenge at this point. The time really snuck up on me. But I think you would rather see a satisfying conclusion than have the animation just cut off near the end. And that is the animation. I think it's pretty neat. Timing-wise, there are some things I would like to adjust. Of course, I ran out of time, so I didn't get to go back and punch up some of the scenes. Yeah, I think some things are just too fast, and even just some of the pauses where I could have held longer, but it's okay. The sort of escape room idea is fun to me, so hope you liked it. Wanted to do something a little different from the dot and line animations I did. Well, that was a bunch of squares animated in 5 different time frames. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Stay tuned for 3 dimensions. And until then, see you in another video soon, and goodbye.